What's up everybody and welcome back to my channel. I am getting exclusive tea here that the executives at Netflix and Amazon are fuming now that Hollywood megastar Jenelle Evans has sold the rights to her I Have Something to Say mockumentary exclusively to the VYRE Network. Jenelle announced that her videos were going to be hitting the VYRE Network, so I went on their site and signed up for their mailing list to see how they'd promote it, and sure enough I got an email about the series a few hours later. So, you know, I love how the promo photo features Jenelle alone with one child to hype a documentary about her losing her kids and walking away from her marriage for a little bit. You would kind of draw the conclusion that she left David and never regained custody of the other kids, you know, just by looking at this one photo. So in my opinion, as a PR and marketing professional, it wasn't the best choice. And they also released a press release that had a couple of errors that would definitely have not crossed the wire if I were overseeing it. Now, this is what it had to say. Make way for Jenelle's Way, starring Jenelle Evans, premiering on VYRE Network. What does Jenelle's Way mean? That's not the name of her documentary. The documentary is I Have Something to Say. This would have been a great play on words if the name of Jenelle's mockumentary was Jenelle's Way, but it's not, so it does fall flat as far as, you know, building buzz goes. Moving right along, it continues on to say, Jenelle Evans, who recently parted ways with MTV and their Teen Mom series that she was the star of, has reached a deal with streaming platform VYRE Network. Jenelle's Way will premiere on the VYRE Living channel on VYRE Network, which is available globally on Apple TV, Roku, Amazon Fire, Android, iPhone, and the web. Okay, so wait a minute. Now, it seems as though they renamed Jenelle's mockumentary from I Have Something to Say to Jenelle's Way. However, when you scroll back up to that promo photo, what does it say? I Have Something to Say. It does not say Jenelle's Way is the name of the series up there. So I'm really questioning the legitimacy of this VYRE Network. And second of all, technically Teen Mom is a Viacom series, so if this were a professional network, they would have known it and referenced it that way, and they would not have formed the sentence in that manner in the first place, show that she was a star of. Like, that's not the kind of language you typically use for press releases. And then it goes on to say, with Jenelle leaving MTV and Teen Mom 2 earlier this year to build her own brand, her team knew it was time for a network deal that could get her to a global audience. VYRE Network is a perfect outlet to partner with, as they're all about distributing great indie content that people love. Jenelle and her husband David Eason were recently spotted cuddling up and celebrating Halloween together. She has a solid fan base that loves her and engages with everything that she does. First of all, we're in a pandemic. Jenelle and David were not spotted anywhere. They probably posted photos of themselves cuddling up or something, but they weren't spotted anywhere. And second of all, what does that even have to do with anything? It is a very useless sentence as far as promoting this series goes. And then the final sentence about her having a solid fan base that loves her and engages with everything. Since when, dude? You know, like, all of her events and collaborations get shut down, like, on a guaranteed basis by people who have been dedicated to making sure that companies are aware of the fact that she has been allegedly neglecting her kids for like the past 10 plus years, and that her husband killed the family dog in the backyard with the kids present in the house. Companies are always forced to publicly apologize for ever working with her, and this network itself had to turn off commenting on their announcement about Jenelle's series because they were getting lit up over there for even working with her. So, you know, we're already off to a bad start here. We get a couple of photos from this series, including when the E! News host talked about how Jenelle and David were basically, you know, pieces of garbage for David going out there and shooting a 10-pound dog for no reason, followed up with a quote from the network president Lamar C. that reads, and I quote, "We seen Jenelle's I Have Something to Say series on YouTube heating up and knew that it would be the right partnership for our network. Even though Jenelle has been through a lot in the media, we are confident that this show will shed new light on the genuine person that she is, and we plan to help her build her brand beyond the MTV years." First of all, he says, "We seen Jenelle's series." It's kind of like Barbara saying, "I seen you with Kiefer." Cool colloquially, but not in a press release. And number two, okay, so is the series called I Have Something to Say again? Because up earlier, it was I Have Something to Say, then it was Jenelle's Way, now it's back to, like, it's very, very confusing what is going on here. As you guys can obviously tell, I'm really doubting the legitimacy of this network, so I looked up Lamar C., who is the president, and found that he was named the Senior Creative Content Manager at Viral Music Media in 2017 and Chief Editor at True Magazine in 2011. According to VMM's website, and I quote, "VYRE VYRE Music Media's Senior Creative Content Manager position is responsible for the flow and direction of VYRE Music Media's media content in owned and managed brands. This includes social media pages, video content, and creative productions, as well as our staple and successful titles True Magazine and R&B Magazine. So I proceeded then to look up VYRE Music Media. It turns out that this company no longer exists, and its abandoned Twitter page only had 84 followers in total. But True Magazine was actually quite popular until they stopped publishing last year. They, by comparison, have over 12,000 Twitter followers. So, this guy does have some kind of experience in the mediascape, but it doesn't seem as if it's with any kind of major corporation or anything like that. So I definitely feel as though this is like a self-started project. So in the footer of the email, they gave an address for the company. I Googled that too. Guys, I did my research. I didn't look up this man's birth certificate or anything like that, but I did a little bit of research, and I noticed when Googling the address that the name Industrious LA kept popping up. So I went over to their website and found that they were a co-working space that also offered mailing service. So whether or not this company uses this address or this place as a co-working space or just like a PO box, I don't know, but those are some of the services that they have over there. They've got offices, dedicated desks, Oasis memberships, starting from as low as $150 a month, working its way up to $810 a month as well. That's not to knock the company. A lot of successful companies do work out of co-working spaces. Some of the companies that worked for us back when I was working in corporate tech worked out of co-working spaces, and they were quite successful as well. So it's definitely not a knock against that. It's just to say, it very much could be just an individual as well. Like he could be doing the Oasis membership for all we know. I've had a co-working space as well back when I used to have like a blogging company. So I totally get it. But, I had one because I was a small kind of like independent blogger working on stuff like that. So I kind of feel like this is more of a small scale personal project. On LinkedIn, it says that there are up to 10 people who work at the company. I saw 4 people listed. So I assume Lamar C, the president of the company, is probably like one of the only full-time, if not the only full-time worker there. And everyone else is probably like freelancing, part-time, or whatever else it might be, just based off the way this press release was just so incredibly confusing, the lack of followership for this network, etc., etc. I personally don't really understand why someone would watch this series on the VYRE Network when it already exists for free on YouTube. I would think that she would come out with a whole different series for them, or maybe like everything that didn't make it in the original series go over there. But it seems like they're just going to copy paste it. They're going to try to rename it to Jenelle's Way, but they're also not. It's very, very confusing, you guys. I'm also curious if Jenelle was sloppy enough to accidentally give them all the originals that she had posted on YouTube before having to edit. Like for instance, the first episode, she was screaming at her 3-year-old for entering a room, and then she took down the video and re-uploaded it without that part. I wonder if she forgot to edit out that part. I also wonder if the part where David was verbally, in my opinion, verbally and psychologically abusing his daughter Marissa on the phone, that got a lot of backlash, an awful lot of backlash. I wonder if that's going to make it as well. Janelle accidentally leaked the document that showed that CPS had reason to believe that Ensley, at the very least, was being physically and or sexually abused in the house. I wonder if that's going to be making it. There is a lot of questions here, but I'm not curious enough to go and watch. I already suffered through that series one time to recap it for you guys, and once is more than enough for me. Guys, what do you think about the VYRE Network and Janelle's series with them? Make sure to let me know all of your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below, and as usual, we'll chat. That's all for now. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.